Has it been this long? Seasons come and gone now. I've been looking for outside my window, waiting for a signal, looking through old photos, sitting by the door. In the pouring rain, I can't see what'll make you stay. Getting old, I wanna know. I want someone coming home. In the pouring rain, I can't see what'll make you stay. Getting old, I wanna know. I want someone coming home.
Welcome back to some more of the Rainbow Open. This time we've got the Abyss Division, the highest tier we have in the tournament here. I am joined tonight by Cherry. How are you feeling? You ready to go?
Absolutely. I'm so stoked for this matchup. Two amazing teams in OSU and the other team ready to clash head to head here. I mean, going into this, both teams looking to make their mark in this division. I don't know what we're going to see, but it looks like we're going to Samoa for this first map.
Samoa is an interesting map. I think, I haven't gotten to actually see a lot of Samoa because teams just have this innate ability to pick Lijiang Tower when control is on the board, and so I think it's a really interesting map where it's mostly rush. I think, right? It's just like Lijiang Tower, except a little bit newer. It's a lot of rush, not a whole lot of high ground. Well, maybe except for here on downtown, you got a little bit of high ground on one of the sides of the point. But yeah, I kind of expect to see like Ramatra or Junker Queen or maybe Amalga, but I doubt Malga comes out here. So I'm kind of expecting like Ramatra or Junker Queen rush.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've never really considered this map to be similar to Lijiang Tower, but yeah, there's Malga as stated. Looks like we're going to be seeing very similar Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I was not looking at this correctly whatsoever. Very different compositions by the looks of it. There's the Symmetra, probably going to switch to a Tracer after that. I mean, both teams really going for that like aggressive style. Not really a poke composition coming out from either one, but looks like we're going to be seeing more of a dive comp coming out from OSU.
Here we go. It's going to be... This is an interesting composition, I feel like, especially with Pise on the Echo. Not a character you see a whole lot these days. Or Malga, for that matter. But, to each their own, I guess, as we get into this first fight here on downtown. Right now, it's OSU taking, positioning on the point as it unlocks. They're going to get this first progress, and not going to quite get the flip. It will be the other team jumping onto the point before it can flip, but Jack taking so much damage, the burning from the Malga miniguns, the immortality field is gone, and Requiem squishes geeked into next week. And with that, Pisa and Squishy Squid both going to be able to clean up kills of their own. And Reinhardt falls, and it will be OSU taking over early.
Yeah, Jack Kenji taking pressure early on there, but it's just allowing Requiem to find Geeked and find every other kill that they would have needed. And it's just going to be OSU, they're going to be finding those extra picks, staggering the remainder of the other team. And that's, you want to see that here. If you're OSU, you want to be able to find those early picks. And it looks like pre-pressure Chef is he's still going to try and find even more.
Pressure Chef being a little gnat in the back line. They now know that Chef is there. Squishy Squid isn't. Immediately taken out is the Lucio of OSU. And, it's going to be a little bit tougher. Shaky with another great pick there onto Pisa. And, with the Malga being here, Malga can survive a long time, especially with a Baptiste. You need to get rid of tempo, which, they do, because Shaky, of course, is still clicking. But Requiem is dead, but this should be going over to the other team eventually. You know, I say that, Shaky pops the overclock, but nothing has really come of these ultimates that are being popped yet. The duplicate from Pisa on to the Ramatra didn't really show anything either, as Squishy Squid so low, able to just barely slip away. And 75% and counting for OSU in a fight that should have been so easily thrown towards the way of the other team. And without Shaky, Shaky's their hard carry right now. The one finding all of the picks. Shaky's gone, Geeked is gone, and 90% and counting here for OSU. The Blizzard comes out, but nobody is in it. There's no ice block here for his Reinhardt. And with the death of his Reinhardt, the death of Jack Engie, I mean, OSU, they take it.
Yeah, Requiem able to find a lot of picks. Just, you know, so many players were just at that low health bar, and we saw Requiem able to counter that aggression that was seen and just make that round on the favor of OSU. You know, that is what you like to see, a full hold 100-0. Maybe it's going to be different going into this next point. Obviously, that brawl composition is going to be a little bit stronger now that there's not as much space to play around, especially on a map like this.
Yeah, I mean, that was so perfectly played by OSU. I mean, like I said earlier, they had no right winning that second fight out. And that second fight, it lasted so long that even if the other team was able to bring that out, like, they were already at 80-90%. Just, like, perfect, picture-perfect Overwatch gameplay there. Sustain and get the picks that you need to get. And OSU, they did just that. And as we get into Volcano, there's gonna be one change. Is Reinhardt hopping off the Mei on it to the Bastion here, so a little bit more damage, but you know, you have a little bit less control over the area. So as we get into this first fight on Volcano, we'll see if this Bastion is going to mean anything, but it'll be the Bastion that goes down first. Now Requiem uses that jump to hop onto Geek, and Pise follows up perfectly, and despite tempo going down, OSU continues to put the hurt on the other team.
Yeah, you know, you're able to find that Baptiste, but it's just never enough to only find that one pick. And Pressure Chef trying to find more, but look at this ultimate economy for the side of OSU here. Already the Sticky Bomb will be available, and there's not a whole ton of ultimates on the side of the other team. Obviously, Geeked at 61%. That's going to be your closest. And besides that, I mean, maybe Claus will be able to find something, but it's not going to be soon.
Here we go. I mean, yeah, it's so heavy in the favor of OSU right now, just like you said, 90% and counting for this duplicate. Geeked is going to be able to build up to the Amp Matrix here soon, but his Reinhardt has just gotten eviscerated for a second fight. Shaky is able to take down Pise, but I mean, it's just not going to be enough here, as I mean, Shaky falls immediately. Now his Reinhardt is going to opt to go right back over to the Mei. Bastion experiment failed. They're going to go back to what works.
Yeah, that fight was pretty carried by tempo there, able to find so many early picks into the round. And I mean, looking at these compositions, you know, you would be expecting that Mei to be a pretty big impactful thing coming out here, using that to be able to get Jack Kenji to just use those punches, find every single bit of damage you could possibly ask for, and maybe even take down Requiem. But I mean, after these ultimates come through, it might not be enough.
Yeah, I mean, cage fight is out for Requiem. Pise popped the duplicate, and they immediately get rid of the duplicate, but they can't get rid of anything else. Geeked is gone down to the pulse bomb. His Reinhardt falls off the map, and I'm not sure that they get another chance.
And even after that ult dump, we're still going to see OSU with an amplification matrix here available to just pop and hold OSU to a victory here.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfect by OSU. This whole map was perfect. I mean, they dominated Volcano, right? But on downtown, backs against the wall, in a fight that they had no right winning, they kept themselves alive and kicking. And I mean, that's exactly what you want to do, right? Like, you don't give up, especially if you don't like overinvest, which they didn't overinvest constantly. I mean, it's just, they were the better team on Samoa. And going into map number 2, I can't really remember what the map type is supposed to be for map number 2, but the other team, they have to, you know, compose themselves. They have to play more together because that's exactly what OSU did.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to want to take it to more of a poke or dive based map here going on to map number 2. Because OSU, they looked very good with that. They didn't look too bad with that brawl with the Malga there and allowing with that Echo to get all the value you could possibly want, combining it looked good. And the other team, their brawl just didn't look great. And they tried running it over and over on both maps, and they just were not able to isolate the tank with the May walls, do anything of the sort. And it just wasn't possible. The other team, they're going to want to make some kind of change, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a swap through for OSU, surprisingly. I mean, I guess maybe they're going to want to try and change the tanks here going into map number 2. And Amabu's just a little bit more specialized in doing some of the tanks that they want to go. And it looks like we're going to be going on to Hollywood for our second map.
I mean, I could see it. I'm a boost. I don't think y'all can see it on stream, but I'm a boost has a Sigma profile picture on Overwatch, so I imagine that we might see, you know, I'm a boost playing something different like the Sigma. You know, I still think that the Ramatra or the Junker Queen can work pretty well here on Hollywood. But I don't expect to see the Malga as we see this substitution come in from OSU. So I do expect, you know, a bit of a different game plan. I don't expect the Echo. I don't really expect, or I can probably see the Tracer coming through from pressure once again. But I mean, no matter what, it's gonna be something different.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is a lot more of, you can basically play anything except brawl on this map. The high ground allowing for a poke composition to become very viable. And with that, a dive going to be really good to just counteract that. You run the Winston, you run the Diva, you run the Doomfist, going to be picks that can really help your team win. And a Sigma pick definitely would work in that poke style of play. You combine that with an Ashe, you combine that with a Hanzo, it's going to work very well. And I'm excited to see if OSU is going to either make that swap, go from that Malga brawl type thing, just holding out the point, to a dive or a poke, or what the plan is here.
Well, I guess we're gonna see what the plan is very, very soon as we get into this map here pretty quickly. But yeah, the Malga is very situational, I think, these days, and you know, OSU played as a death ball for a lot of that, with the exception of the Echo on the off angle most of the time. But I just don't think that the Malga is as good as he once was. You know, I think that they played around the Malga very, very well. But here on Hollywood, as we get into the map, we'll see what they're going to come out on. And it's going to be Boost on the Winston and Jack going to reprise the role on the Ram.
Yeah, running that Winston on the defense, definitely going to be an interesting pick coming through here. But, I mean, going into the Ramatra counter pick, you cannot go too aggressive if you are Boost here, since you're just going to be pushing through, and then as soon as you do, you could get Maywalled, you could get slowed. Any of these possible abilities could be utilized to just keep you in their spawn, and Jack Genji would have a field day with you there. With the punches going through shields, you cannot play around it. And looking at some of these other picks we're seeing here, it's a lot of a brawl composition, as we saw in that first match here from the other team, which I don't really like. I don't think they played the brawl very well. So we'll see if they're able to make some changes, or how they're going to try and counteract and make this map theirs.
Well, they're going to make this map theirs by going up to the high ground on the first point here pretty early. But PZ puts Shaky out of their misery here within the first 20 seconds. And, I mean, just like that, OSU has put a stop to this push, as PZ and Manza have immediately just taken over. 2 for PZ, 2 for Manza, and PZ gets a third.
Yeah, I mean, I don't totally know what happened there. Obviously, the other team was able to capitalize on the space that was given to them by OSU. But as soon as that space was capitalized, they tried taking the high ground. and Shaky instantly just got destroyed by the pulse grenades coming out from Pisa. And that was just the beginning of the end of that fight. They weren't able to make any more plays. They did not have the Sojourn for the firepower, and Manzaman was just able to find anything you could possibly want.
His Reinhardt goes over to the Reaper to try and bother Boost a little bit more here, as Pise is taking so much damage, but the peel is incredible from Tempo, getting away from his Reinhardt and staying alive here. And once again, his Reinhardt tries to hop on it to the Echo, but Tempo is there to help. Squishy Squid does go down here late, but ooh, as I say that, we could probably see an annihilation here pretty soon by Pise if that duplicate doesn't go away, but it will be OSU that takes this fight. You know, they lost a couple people, but ooh, nice shot by Tempo. They get it done.
Yeah, OSU has been very proactive about keeping fights alive, even despite their tank falling. We will see Pisa, as soon as their tank falls, try and just duplicate Jackie Kenji and force out that secondary tank, which I love that so much from them, that they are able to have the confidence, despite their tank dying, to just say, okay, we're still going to utilize ults here, and we're still going to maintain this fight.
Here we go. Hitting another rotation is the other team. Nemesis form popped by Jack, as is the annihilation here, as I'm a Boost comes back, gets nanoed on the Ramatra, has an M form. Not going to find much of anything with it, but you know who will? Shaky through this amp matrix, gets 2, gets 3, and cleaned up by Klaus's Tempo, but the fight got taken over by Shaky so quickly.
Yeah, that was a very, very strong fight from the other team there. They just did not lose much whatsoever. They had to capitalize a couple ults, and it was one of the only fights where we do see a player on OSU falling as the first blood of the fight. Pisa obviously getting taken out very quickly by Shaky, and that was just exactly what you need to see if you are the other team there. You know, you have to find those early picks and just capitalize completely on top of it, and it really shows like they are learning that right now.
Here we go. Point B begins. Squishy Squid trying to keep people up, but from downtown, she's able to get Shaky taken out with the biotic grenade. So, I mean, a great early pick there. Shaky has been the win condition for the other team for both of these maps, and, you know, getting them out early, that's a good sign.
That sleep grenade was dirty onto Geeked. There was no reason he should have been allowed to hit that, but it just looked so good. Squishy Squid really showing why they're coming into this and showing so much power while doing it.
Here we go. Not quite in this next fight just yet, Jack. There's a couple of ultimates on the board for the other team, but I mean, almost 5 here for OSU. So, I mean, this is a heavy ult advantage as we see the Kitsune Rush come out, responded to by the sound barrier, but Tempo is going to lose their life early. It's going to be traded out as Boost pops the annihilation. Squishy Squid and Pisa get a piece of it themselves. And, you know, despite Shaky being able to take down Pisa, it's just all OSU.
Yeah, OSU really showing a lot of pressure here, and they're really doing it with style. They only utilized 2 ultimates, and Tempo dying early was not good, but the Kitsune Rush was already laid out. So it was just, Boo's able to use that punching form. Nemesis was so powerful there, and Manzaman finding this early pick in this next fight, not having that Reaper going to be very detrimental.
So much of the damage there gone for the other team. They're going to play a little safe here. They're going to back up into the restaurant. Pisei's up there and trying to find an early pick, potentially. And you see his Reinhardt back there, slinking around, being sneaky. What can they find in the backline as the duplicate comes out from Pisa? They're going to have an annihilation here, and I mean, they're nano boosted, but it just doesn't matter. You know, what does matter is that Manza, has found another head. Shaky popping the overclock is going to be good for at least 1 here. Overclock fades away for this Sojourn, but the annihilation comes out just in time to put OSU strongly in the lead. And I mean, what another great fight.
Yeah, with 35 seconds on the clock, OSU, they're going to want to play aggressive here. They're not going to want to let a touch happen. And by the looks of it, Claus is going to be one of the only players that can actually make that touch occur. And with 96% on the ultimate, getting that beat down is going to be so necessary to make this happen.
Here we go, Kitsune Rush. Just about there for OSU. And only the sound barrier in the bank for the other team. We'll see what they can do as Geeked is already dead. That is worst case scenario for the other team. They have to use the sound barrier, but it fades away just as fast as it came out. Pise burns down, Shaky. Tempo is dead, luckily for the other team, but I mean, it's just going to be such a tall task for the other team to bring this fight out as the Dragon Strike deals so much more damage to Jack than they would have liked. The fight continues as Shaky returns on this Tracer, and the damage, they're being a little gnat back there trying to find something, but the Annihilation is here for boost. They take a lot of damage and they can't get it done, and it's going to be a trade here, but it's going to be the other team bringing this fight out. But Pisa found two.
Yeah, Pisa trying to make something happen here out of nothing, and it's just going to be an overtime hold. Pisa just forcing out as much as possible.
Uses the duplication here on it to the Tracer to continue to be a little gnat and potentially build up a pulse bomb. Oh, almost just by right, but it gets him off the point.
Oh my god, Pisa putting down that pulse grenade, forcing Claus off the point, and forcing that overtime to just end. And honestly, that is not a location where you want that point to be if you are the other team. It's very easy to just get there. If you're at the very end, obviously you can hold high ground and be able to make it your way. And it's, you're not in a terrible position, but right here, it does not go well for you. You have to full hold first point, and even after that, if you don't, you're going to have to really maintain a very strong second point hold. So honestly, props for them for being able to hold that first point for as long as they did, or second point, sorry, for as long as they did, because that was very good. I mean, OSU, they're really showing here why they are doing the best here, and they want to go in as very strong as they are. And look at these compositions here. We see a Hanzo, we see a a Junkrat. There is no hit scan here. So I don't know what the plan is. Maybe they're just going to try and dive height, because that has a lot of speed and a lot of characters that can really get onto the high ground pretty fast. But, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be, similar place. Oh, not similar play styles. The only thing similar between these two teams is Ramatra. I'm on something right now, but we'll see here as Manza is going to reprise the role on the Hanzo here on their attack. I mean, has just been playing so well, ripping heads off with those arrows. I mean, still, the shots are coming through, and, Geeked and Shaky took one each here from Manza. The Disruptor shot going to be a little bit annoying for Manza, but nothing that the Hanzo cannot escape from, as Ice Block is already out for his Reinhardt. So if they want to make a play on to this Mei, they could, but they're not gonna. The wall is going to be good. They have to focus on keeping Boost alive. As it stands, nobody's really taken a whole lot of damage, but Jack is in no man's land all alone right now, and antied and dead. Squishy Squid gets the final blow there, and I mean, what a way to just separate out the Ramatra there by OSU.
Yeah, I do think that OSU, they're taking advantage of the other team's, I'm just going to say, not amazing positioning. We saw the Ramatra on his own, and as soon as Geeked fell, there was no one to keep him up. So all around, we're going to need to see some changes. You need to be grouping up together when you're playing this brawl competition. You cannot have Jack Kenshi playing by himself with the rest of the team just playing behind. Obviously, we saw the Mei walls getting decent value, but look at that. Claws already caught out, and it's just not going to be enough, and the other team needs to change something.
Now we have a bit of a Ramatra sandwich down here, as PZ did use the duplicate onto the Ramatra, but I mean, once again, that actually might just be the map.
Till you see me on my bike.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably
There
going to
might
see
be a
Claws
touch.
be able to make a touch here, but unless Jack Kenji can come back, it's not going to look good. Obviously, there's going to be a pretty good ult economy here coming out from the other
No.
team. But wait, no, there's not. Okay, yeah, there. Good, good. We got one touch. Boo is going to be using that annihilation, and it's just not even going to be enough. The May trying to make his way on point, but OSU taking this map in fashion.
I mean, they haven't slowed down, right? They are locked in, right? They're not making the mistakes that the other team is making, right? I mean, leaving your Ramatra alone, like cut off from everybody. Nobody could see Jack Kenji where they were at. I mean, that's just something that a team that is as good as OSU is, that's just something they're going to find out. They're going to take advantage of it. And so the other team, they need to, to evaluate what they're doing because, like, you can't sugarcoat it. Their positioning is bad. Their ultimate usage is below average. And I mean, right now, it feels like the only win condition that they've had in any fight that they've won has been Shaky finding an early pick. But you can't rely on that every single fight. You have, I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to play better, right? It's a mental thing. It's not even a mechanical thing right now. This is a decision making problem, which, I don't know how long that these players have been playing together, but this is a good chance to say, hey, let's take a look at this game and see what we can do better.
Yeah, I mean, you really do need to just change up the playstyle. Obviously, we saw in that first point they tried doing different things and nothing was really working until they went for that flank play. So we're gonna have to see what the next map is. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be going for a 3-minute break right about now.
I want to know if you let go of all the time we spent. And I didn't mean to break down, but you disappeared like I'm looking at all the photos, sitting by the pouring rain. I can't sleep, but I make you stay. Getting old, I wanna know. I want someone coming home. In the pouring rain, I can't sleep, but I make you stay. Getting old, I wanna know. I want someone coming home. The skies are gray, and I'm to blame that I couldn't keep it together while I found my way. Love is pure, but yet insane. Holding on to feelings while we put it in the grave. Baby, I don't feel right, and things are hard. It's not like we meant to fall out and run into the ground. Baby, I don't feel right, telling you it's over, but our problems are rotating and thinking while I'm sober. I don't wanna cut this song, 'cause you were my intention. Baby, you don't know how hard that this decision's for me. Cut this song, 'cause you were but I feel alright. I just wanna feel your touch. And baby, you were all I want. No one can make me feel the way you do. I just wanna fix myself, and I'm broken, I can't get up. And I just wanna love myself, the same shit trying to hold me down. I'm fading but I feel alright. I just wanna feel your touch. And baby, you were all I want. No one can make me feel the way you do. Fading but I feel alright. I just wanna make things right. And baby, you were all I need. Please don't treat me the same as you do. I'm scared, scared to let you go. It seems you're the only thing that makes me bleed. I'm scared, scared to let you leave. You see, what if you'll be happy without me? I'm scared, scared to let you go. It seems you're the only thing that makes me bleed. I'm scared, scared to let you leave. You see, what if you'll be happy without me?
Gloria
All right, welcome back, everybody. And I mean, from start to finish, Oregon State, they've just had this game on lock. I mean, they've been dominating every step of the way thus far, and it's just because they are playing super well around the mistakes that the other team are making. And going into map number 3, which is going to be Suravasa, you just gotta clean up those mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, going into this, I have to think that USU, sorry, they have a bit of an advantage going into this, seeing as their first point or their first match, sorry, on control was just so dominant, and these are two very similar modes. Usually, at least in cases that I've seen, if OSU wins that first map, they're probably going to win the third. So we're going to see if there's going to be some changes, and immediately looking at these compositions, I believe that they have a massive advantage going into this. The Pharah, there's very little counter to that in the composition that we see the other team running.
Okay. You know what? I'm not going to say anything until OSU walks out of the spawn.
Yep, never mind.
Like it's going to be a hard dive composition for the other team, and it'll be an Orisa rush for the side of OSU as we get into Suravasa Market. Point 1 going to unlock very soon. OSU and the other team have finally met up with each other here, and OSU, they're just going to plant their feet on the point here pretty early, as the point is going to unlock here in just a couple of seconds, but there's not really any damage coming through just yet, as his Reinhardt going to hit a little bit of a flank, but you know what? Geeked is already gone. That'll be a good pick from Shaky, though. A trade is going to be great, and Shaky and Klaus, they get to work, and they find one each, and despite OSU getting this early flip and the first pick, well, maybe not. Maybe I just need to be quiet, because it's still 2 for 2 here. His Reinhardt trying to get away from the ice beam of Pise is going to just barely survive. The cleanse going to come out from Tempo. They cannot get the kill onto Tempo, but OSU will get the kill onto Jack and his Reinhardt and finally assert themselves. But after one fight, 60%.
Yeah, that first fight was very quickly put on the point of OSU. They had it at the very start, and that just lasted so long. So they just kept riding that point for as long as they possibly could, and it worked so well in their favor. And at 85%, this is already last fight territory.
Here we go. Jack Kenji wants this dive in, hindered up by Manza, who takes out Shaky, and both DPS are dead for the side of the other team. And I mean, this is going to be a rough one for anybody in this situation, and the other team, I just don't know that they're going to be able to get it done here on a Market. Jack Kenji falls. Geek has to escape. That'll be Market going over to OSU.
Yeah, and I mean, going into this next point, we're going to be seeing that Blizzard available here for OSU, and the only real counter to that is maybe we can see that Genji with the deflect able to just counteract it and make it go on the side of the other team, and that's exactly what you want to see. Jakenji here, he could potentially get a stun off, and that might be exactly, another thing. It's something you like to see. Geeked here, 98% on the ultimate. That's exactly, it's good. It's good. It's not great. It's good, though, because it's going to be utilized early, but with the wall, I don't know how really useful it's going to be.
Sune Rush out and just about buried. As we see a Blizzard also come out, they're able to take Klaus down, and it'll be 2 for 2 here. Somehow his Reinhardt is able to just keep flying around on this Genji, but Manza is going to be able to get the final blow. And I mean, this just... It's a back and forth fight right now, right? This is the best chance that the other team has had to win out a fight since map number 1. But with Jack Kenji falling, I mean, I just don't see them bringing this out anymore. It's Shaky's dead, and OSU, they get it done. They have all series.
Yeah, however, this was a lot better for them than that first fight, even though they won both, since they had not been able to cap the point until now, and they also used ultimates there. There's no longer the Deadeye available. There's no longer the Blizzard available. All of those ultimates, the Terra Surge, no longer available. They're going to be going into this with probably both support ults. However, Sharky going to have that pulse bomb and finding that first kill, and there's another blade.
Yeah, Shaky's able to get the pulse bomb off onto Manza. Cannot get away with it. And as it stands, it's just a stall here for OSU. Finally, some footing found for the other team as Jackenji, Geeked, and Shaky go to work.
Yeah, you really do like to see it. However, both DPS ults have been utilized during that fight. That definitely is going to put a strain on the economy here for the other team. However, getting that point, that's what you want. That's what you need. And going into this, you still do have one more ult in the Doomfist. Obviously, it's going to be super valuable if he does get put into a rough position from Pisa with the wall or something along those lines. And just look at this. This brawl composition is not what we want to see from the other team. We want to play this slow. They're not allowing it.
Oh, good. A good cancel there on the Coalescence, punched by Jackenji. But despite Manza going down, I mean, OSU is once again going to be able to, slowly but surely bring these fights out. Jackenji punches in as it's just stall time. Try and get some more percentage going as, if they lose this, they've only got one more chance here on Palace. They have some reinforcements. Pise immediately puts those reinforcements away. But right now at 95%, I mean, they've stalled it out about as far as they can.
Let us take it.
Yeah, 1 more percent would have been nice, but it's honestly not really necessary. And it's literally like that entire fight was just the other team having to play OSU's game. They wanted to play close, and they wanted, OSU, they have the Mei. They can block off the tank and force it in any situation they could possibly want. And there was nothing that the other team did to stop it.
Shaky's pulse bomb onto a wall, unfortunately here. 17 HP. No recall just yet. Still not getting healed. Somebody has 1 HP. I did not see who that was as it was just so brief. But Jackenji drops on Tempo's head. Puts the Kiriko down. And, Shaky does fall here. But once again, OSU is going to work. They're getting the job done. Can they get this kill onto Klaus? They can, and they get the point! 2 deaths early, they don't care!
Yeah, that Coalescence was huge, and Pisa going to be able to finish out this fight, just finalizing all of the deaths. And there's Jackenji getting staggered a little bit there. Obviously, he's going to be able to get the point pretty fast. However, I mean, that just doesn't look good. You're already down 2 maps, and it is definitely going to be OSU here having a ton of confidence. And that speed, that pressure that they're providing is going to maintain through this third point.
Dragonblade Kitsune Rush just about ready to go for the other team. Tactical Visor Kitsune Rush ready to go for OSU just about. And here is the first of the 2 Kitsune Rushes. Geek throws it out early. Gonna be able to deflect 1, but I mean, there's 2 on the Tactical Visor for Manza. Make that 3 for the Soldier. His Reinhardt pops the Dragon Blade, gets a couple picks, but it's just not enough.
An absolutely absurd Dragon Blade finding 2, but it just was not worth it whatsoever. You should have held it for that next fight, since now there's not gonna be much to combo that Kitsune Rush going into this next fight here. And honestly, OSU, they're going to be having a very fun time through this. Obviously, they lost a couple people due to the Dragon Blade. However, by the looks of it, that's not going to matter to them. Manza Man finding this first opening pick.
Yeah, and I mean, Shaky going down is bad. I mean, it just keeps going from bad to worse for the other team. It's 60% and counting. There's only going to be one more shot here for the other team.
Yeah, this is not how you would like to have your opening series start here. Losing 3 of the night. I mean, you're going to have to go into next week and just say, okay, we need to make some kind of change, because right now, 88%, you have 2 ultimates on the board, and Claw's 63% towards his, and that's the next closest. However, 2 picks might just be it.
Geeked and his Reinhardt, who's gone over to the Junkrat here, gets some work done as Pise does not have the ice block, and Requiem doesn't have any cooldowns themselves. And finally, the other team, they get some work done. They get the flip.
Yeah, but was this flip happening even nearly fast enough? I mean, obviously the Meteor Strike is available, and we're going to be seeing a beat coming out soon enough. But compared to the Ultimate Economy that we do see with the 2 ultimates already available in that Coalescence that has been so useful in this series so far, I don't know how it's going to happen, but the other team definitely has to make some kind of changes, and it has to happen right about now.
Big punch from Jack Kenji, trying to find something to cleanse, coming out from Geeked. Meteor Strike, not going to find anything, but Pise gets Shaky out early. Here we go. It's up to his Reinhardt right now. His Reinhardt has the Riptire, but nothing. Cannot get it off. Cannot get away. And I think that is going to do it for the series. Pise with the exclamation marks there too. Right at the end, and at 99%, the overtime wick begins to burn. It's just Shaky left alive. Gets the touch. The Riptire finds tempo. So, you know, all things considered, this could still go. Technically, it could, but it doesn't look like it will. Geeked falls, Klaus falls, Shaky falls, and the other team will fall. That's going to do it. OSU comes out from start to finish, all gas, no brakes, 3-0.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know, this is a team that you have to be looking out for the rest of the season. OSU, not faltering whatsoever. I think they lost a total of, 3 team fights maybe that entire series, which is absolutely absurd to see from a team that, you know, let's not discredit the other team here. They had a very good standing most of this series. They had amazing strategies. I loved some of the plans that they had made. And, you know, there were just times where OSU was just able to completely downplay it and say, okay, you want to try and go for the high ground here. We're just going to throw our sticky bombs on you and no more high ground for you.
Yeah, I mean, for every action that the other team had, OSU had an equal or greater reaction there. I mean, OSU, from map number 1 to map number 3, I mean, they were never behind. They were never worried. And that's a scary thing for a team when you have that absurd amount of confidence that OSU has. I mean, they felt that they could do no wrong. And I mean, we saw the other team finishes in 3 maps, they got 1 point out of it. I mean, OSU was simply the better, more trained team today. The other team, they have to take this match moving forward, right? It sucks to get absolutely beat down like the other team did, right? Losing is absolutely terrible. But you have to be able to learn from your losses. The other team, they got beat this week, right? But you got to look at this game, right? All 3 maps, there are mistakes abound for this team that they can look like and say, hey, maybe next time, let's not do that, right? So, you know, despite the loss, which was brutal, you can take this game and, you know, plant a seed, right? And if you plant a seed well enough and take care of that seed well enough, it'll grow into something great. And I think that the other team under the lead of Shaky, who was, I think that their standout player this series, I think that there's a chance that they can become something more than what we saw today for sure.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, you know, those losses mean a lot more than the wins, and you can learn from them so much. But question is, are they going to be able to learn fast enough to be able to, you know, make their way through into playoffs and into everything else? And I mean, that's the question. You know, they looked good. They had a lot of firepower on that team, and their strats were fun to watch and to just look at. But it just didn't seem to be enough.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, I mean OSU moving forward, you got to be wary of OSU. I mean, you cannot take them lightly because they will not let go, right? Once they get a hold of you, they're going to drive you into the ground, and we saw that just now. So moving forward, nobody is going to be able to take OSU lightly in this Abyss division. So I mean, look out for them because they're going to be scary for the foreseeable future. But unfortunately for us tonight, it was a quick one, but that is going to be all that we've got tonight. OSU taking down the other team 3-0. Cherry, do you have anything else to say before we head off tonight?
No, I mean, there's not much to say about that match, let's be honest. That was way too fast. Less than an hour it took for OSU to just completely roll the other team.
Yeah, so, watch out for OSU and the other team. Keep your heads up. You can definitely make something out of this. But that will do it for us tonight. I hope you all enjoyed watching this match, and I hope that I can see y'all again next week. Have a good night, everyone.
Watching the rain, it hurt in my chest, but I'm doing okay if you're doing okay. I'm trying to forget, but the things that you said keep running in my head. How long am I gonna carry that weight? I'm tired, so tired of overthinking again. I keep on doing my things, I'm just trying to forget. I'm just trying to get you out of my head. Keeping